keep Bella in my cup. Shorty, she on my body. Yeah, she know what's up. She know I got a girl, but she don't give a fuck. She know I got power, and I'm in a sucker. I ain't your average motherfucker, rockin' a Mary trucker. Foreign car, seas, beige color. Off-white look like I hit the same, homie. Me and Turo smoking back to back, we them pain brodies. T.O. finna come home, so you know we finna make it rain on them. Shit ain't no gang, homie. Gang blow his brain from my ass for top. Now she giving brain from me. Kicked her out the whip, she ride the train, homie. I'm insane. Smoking backwards to try to ease this pain. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
And really being able to kind of understand that this everything we subscribe to is a little awkward or weird or a little off, you know. Like we talk about sending your kid to school, with information that's being given to them and programmed into them, and you have no clue. So you're not around your kid from 6:30, 7:30, 8 in the morning until maybe 5 o'clock at night. They go to after school program and they participate in sports. So you don't have no control over the inputs on them.
Not at all.
And then are they learning the things that they supposed to be learning?
No.
Because everybody went to school. I went to school. You went to school. Everybody went to high school. Most people went to college, and everybody's still making $30,000 a year.
Even the way they learn is completely different now.
Right.
Like I know you probably look at your kids' homework and be like, "Bro, we ain't do that type of shit back in the day. We did it a whole different way." So
yo, I'm gonna tell you.
Do it my way.
No, we stand on
the wrong answer for the teacher.
Nah, we stand on our business. I just told you. My kids ain't never stepped inside of the people's programming. So I never looked at their homework ever in life. Because me and their parents and their loved ones have been the only teachers of these children. So we never looked at their homework and seen no nonsense because we give out the homework. And that's another thing. You can start your own curriculums. You can make your own schools. You don't have to follow this information that's being given to you.
So you've been homeschooling your kids?
We've been homeschooled since the beginning.
Okay, that's fire, my brother. You gotta get the information. You gotta get the gems on that because it's a lot of people definitely in our, not even in our community, but a lot of people our age and younger, feel me, 30 and younger that would love to homeschool their kids but don't know the ways of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say for us, man, it's no way to teach your kid. That's the honest truth, right? Because it's your kid, so you know. I don't know this kid, and I think it might be real. I don't like to quote the internet, but you ever seen that 2-year-old? He's doing math crazy. He's dividing and multiplying. He's doing all type of crazy math. He's only 2. You can't do that with every 2-year-old. You know what I'm saying? You might could do that with a whole lot of them, but maybe not every one of them. Right. So he was able to learn that. There's another kid that might be real great at art or can draw. My 5-year-old, she can read. All she loved to do is read. Everywhere she go, she sees something, she read it. But none of my other kids took to reading like the way she does. Right. You understand what I mean? So it just depends. My other daughter, she draws, and she been able to draw her whole life. Nobody taught, like totally self-taught. She's an artist. So you got to figure out what do your kids love, what they're passionate about, what's their learning style, and then you got to find out what's important. You can use resources. I'm not against using resources. I'm saying you got to reinvent the wheel. The Board of Education or the Department of Education, all the independent schools, all the private schools, all the charter schools, all their curriculums are public information. Mm-hmm. You can get 50 curriculums in your kid in the first grade, and you can use the AI. We was talking about the AI. You could drop them curriculums in AI and then say, yo, produce my own more heavily centered around math. And you may not get a right result the first time, but it goes back to we talk about putting the result in. Mm-hmm. If your kid get out of school in June 20th, you tell him you can't come up with a curriculum by September if you really wanted to? If you really wanted to, you couldn't come up with a homeschool curriculum for your kid in 3 months?
I mean, people gonna say they working, and you know they trying to provide, so they don't got that much time.
I know, but I mean, it's opportunity costs. Mm-hmm. Everything comes with a sacrifice, and sometimes work got to get sacrificed. Or you might have to say, and that's what I'm saying, being honest, you might have to say, I'm gonna sacrifice my kid. I'm about to sacrifice the first 15 years of your life, mm-hmm. and I'm gonna let the system raise you so that I can build up my 401k or pay for your college. That might be a conversation. See, those are the real conversations. One of my older brothers, my brother Boomy, super educated brother, he was telling me about the private school system and like, yo, if you put your kid in private school, because he went to private schools, you got to be active in that school. Yes. Your parents got to be there on the PTA. They got to come. They got to stop in. They got to do this, that, and the third, all this other stuff. Yeah. So you had to do that regardless. Whether you was homeschool, private school, you got to put the extra work in.
Should be.
You know what I mean? And then if your kid in public school, you might have to do some other kind of hard works
Really
and
should be there.
or maybe you get creative, man. I was thinking about this. We talk about books and all that. One of the things I want to do is put some information on them, like the Everyday Millionaire, because we get so caught up on what our salary is, how much money you're making. If you make 50, 60,000 in America, you're gonna be a millionaire. You got enough bread to build your credit up. From that credit, you can leverage that to get income producing stuff, whatever that is. People want to say it could be an asset, it could be anything you want to call it. I don't want to get caught up in the vernacular.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? But you could produce income off a $50,000 W-2 job. So why not be a teacher? Why everybody from the neighborhood don't go and be teachers and be firemen and police officers and everything that's local, and then we figure out how to get this money on the credit side, on the real estate side, on the stock side, on the logistics side.
That's because that information is lost.
It's here.
And then they already stuck with their day job, so people get complacent as well. So what do you tell a person that is working that 9 to 5 can do those things like myself? What are those tricks and trades?
Well, I would say the first thing, man, is credit. You got to go with the credit. So if you got bad credit, do your credit repair situation. I can tell you a whole lot of, like I said, money is monopoly money. The credit game is monopoly credit as well. So don't get caught up on a score, on 3 numbers. Do it what it takes. You could do it for free yourself, just the cost of mail. If you want to send out letters, there's a whole bunch of readily available information on letters. If you somebody like myself, I like to learn at my own pace. So if I ever did credit repair for myself, I ain't do it myself, just keeping it being with you. I leverage the expert. I paid an expert to get it done for me, and along the way, they gave me the game because I felt like my money was worth the speed of the service that they provided. But you may not have the money to pay for it, so do it yourself. The next thing is developing relationships. If you got a cousin, an uncle, an auntie, a grandma that got a credit card, become an authorized user on their credit cards. That's a free way. Now that's going to gain your credit that way. Everybody should be having EIN numbers, multiple of them. Every paycheck you need to be purchasing an LLC. Purchase your shelf corp. Purchase your age corporation. Start your new corp. You need 1 million entities because now you could trade amongst yourself. You know, we can, go deeper on those things. I got to do one of these schools, you know what I mean? The UCC school, something like that. But you can produce income yourself, those ways. And use these programs, these NACA programs, these USDA, these 0% down, these down payment assistance programs, these FHA, these opportunities like that. Use these auction homes, use these tax liens, all of that kind of stuff. If you got credit, there's spots that you can use credit cards to purchase stock and things like that. Learn how to liquidate a credit card so you can buy real estate. There's unlimited things, to do. You just got to be willing to put the work in. On those 3 places, like I just said, I think that's the foundation of America. You got real estate, you got stock, and you got logistics. Everything will fall under those categories. So if you find yourself a nice little rhythm in any of those arenas, you're gonna be all right. And don't rush. You don't need money that fast, man. Just stay patient and keep tripling and doubling down, because compounding is what's gonna really get you the bread. It's not the one-offs. It's the thing that happen again and again and again and again like clockwork. Right. That's the real wins.
Residual income. That's what that means. Residual income. You could go to sleep and that money's still working, or you could keep doing something, but it click every time and keep working.
Yeah, that's it.
Definitely. My brother, how do you feel about the differences of a person being rich, comfortable, wealthy, and extremely wealthy? Like, like you just said, don't rush it. You feel me? Make sure you have something, a niche that actually works for yourself, and put different things in different baskets. But for a person that, like I said, gets comfortable or maybe complacent, what if they're not trying to be rich? They just want to be comfortable.
But the first thing is, we ain't talking to the people that's complacent. That's an inner conversation that they got to have with themselves and get motivated. Something is off, you know what I mean, in our society, not just black, white, everybody. It's a depressed spirit over America right now. You know what I mean, when it comes to just being motivated about life and what's to come and what's in the future. So I would say start there. But when it comes to just anything, man, it's a mindset thing. You got to have the proper mindset, the proper approach, and really plot your steps. That's what's really important. You got to have a plan and stick to it, because it's not the difference between all that stuff you're saying is the super rich and the ultra wealthy and the comfortable people is the plan. You got a plan. Even if you're a loser, you had the plan to be a loser, because you might have just been a loser by default, but that was a strong plan. You feel what I'm saying?
You executed.
Yeah, so that's what it really
You
comes
did
down
nothing.
to. You got to plot your steps and say, this how I get $3, this how I get $5. You know what you do if you got a W-2. You know what you get paid every week, every 2 weeks, every month. If you got a side hustle business, you know these numbers. You know what I mean? And you start using them numbers to fuel something. You know what I mean? And then you start taking away bills. At least that's how I did it when I was younger. When I started out, I would have a side hustle going. I say, okay, that covered my rent. Then I got this going. That was taking care of my car note. And now everything else that was coming in, that was surplus, because my lifestyle was already paid for by hustles that I had, you know, that I was producing from. And then that gave me the opportunity to even play around with this credit. So like I said, now I take risks. Now I'm doing credit and this and that. But it was just basically filling in my slot, having numbers, real life numbers. You know, there's no estimations. Do your real life math.
So we're back to the real question, back to the homeschooling and really teaching your kids starting from young. Do other parents that want to do that, do they need a form or anything? Do you need, like, how do you go about that? Because, you know, like you said, if your kid ain't in school and the person asks, they call ACS. Like, yo, what's going on? I feel like this person is neglecting their child or on the education tip.
That's another thing with this cognitive dissonance. So as long as I send my kid to public school, I could feed him Chinese fried chicken every night. That's not neglect. Yep. You feel what I'm saying? I could teach him about a whole bunch. So I don't really subscribe to that type of thought process anyway. However, the internet is abundant. Everybody live in different states and different municipalities and jurisdictions. So if you are a law-abiding citizen and you follow rules and regulations and allow for people to have jurisdiction over you, then I would say find your local jurisdiction authority and figure out the proper process. I'm not saying everybody's supposed to be a lawbreaker or do whatever they want to do, anything like that. I'm saying know the game that you're playing in. So if you want to be homeschooling, a lot of that stuff come really with the government being able to be inside of your business. Yes. If your kid don't have a social or your kid don't have a birth certificate and they ain't living under that, there's no way for you to even come holler at my kids about school and anything. A lot of times when you make agreement with these people. So if I take Medicaid or I take food stamps or I take public housing, I made agreements not knowing what I agreed to, that I got to abide by certain rules and regulations and laws. So I say just educate yourself on the agreements and the contracts that you signing first and foremost. That's homeschool 101. You got to know that about yourself. And then everything else is the same thing. Like we talked about, if you want to get into stock or real estate, it's rules to win. This thing been happening over and over again the same way, the same year every time. If you want to get into anything, is a tried and tested ways that work. We just got to have the patience. We've been under duress for so long as a people that we trying to escape. We trying to get on down. So I got to get the money now. I got to rush. I got to get out of it. And then your ego and you been hurt so many times. So now I got to style on niggas, and I got to have a big body Benz, and I got to have a rollie and I need the bad bitch. That's all shit that make you go too fast. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's a time limit on that. Because that's not as cool at 40 as it is at 20. All right. So but if I take away all the bullshit and just focus on like the real shit, a lot of that stuff come later on down the line because it come with relationships. You had to go to college to be in class with Zuckerberg. You feel what I'm saying? That happened at 23, 24. You had to do your first job or 2 or 3, get your first promotion so you know how to run the business, and you and your homies say, yo, F corporate America, we about to go do this. These things don't happen at 19. These happen at 28.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And by the time you spin off and, really double down and you pick your head up, you 35, you 36. But that's the life cycle of a man. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, it don't happen quick for everybody.
No.
Everybody's not a YouTube sensation. Everybody's not these social media, because everybody think now that we in this age that they can do that. Everybody can't be a streamer if you're not working hard at being a streamer. So if you don't know the ins and outs of like what it takes to actually bring in the audience and be an entertainer, listen, find a different path. You understand? Find a different way.
Yo, it go back to the same thing we talk about, man. It's knowing the rules and regulations and how to get it done. Because on the surface, everybody knows what you got to do. Consistency with your content, with your brand, and you got to be in the people's faces all the time. So whether that come with collaborations, whether that come with marketing, whether that come with branding, whether it come with promotion, advertising, you're going to have to invest in that and whatever you got to do. because everything gonna have a dollar amount attached to it, but everything ain't gonna get paid with money. You understand what I'm saying? So let's say whoever you get to come on the show, he want 10,000 or whatever. You may say, look, I'm gonna give you that off the streams. I'm not gonna pay you nothing. You're gonna take that off the views or the downloads or the whatever. You feel what I'm saying? Or you might have an equal thing that you offer that person. Okay, I'm gonna do this and do that. You feel what I'm saying? Those are ways you can do things. So you gotta be willing to just double down and invest and do whatever it takes, man. I don't know how many times I said that shit in this interview, but you got to be able to do whatever it takes, and there's no way around it. That's it. If you ain't going to do that, you going to lose.
Nah, you know what's so funny? I had a quote. I always got this quote in my phone from Malcolm X. He said, only a fool follows by the enemy's game plan.
Right. And that's all mostly, if you're talking about anybody that's in America that's not of a ruling class or ruling family or elite type of background, you under another people's laws. You under another people's way of life. Everything. Yo, the way everything we do is a little type tripped out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you beat your kids. You feel me? Like you said, the way motherfucker make love to his lady is a little tripped out. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is done in like a animalistic way. You feel what I'm saying? And it teaches you to be like low frequency, low vibrational, real animalistic. You know what I'm saying? Real, feral in a way.
Yeah.
You know
and
what
I
I'm
feel like that been learned from way back in the day, but every like we said, a mindset, this program, that this thing that we've endured of being oppressed and suppressed, you feel me? Everybody has taken in what the most elite wanted to.
Yeah.
You feel me? That mindset. So that right there is basically hard to break because it became a norm.
Yeah.
You feel me? Everything that people do is a norm now. So it's like once it becomes a norm, it's regular and it's accepted. Everything that is accepted now was taboo back in the day, especially probably when you was growing up and when my parents was growing up. It's definitely taboo. Definitely not heard of, definitely uncalled for, definitely ashamed upon. So it's like we said, like we always gonna keep saying, like, we understand what is this woke shit. You feel me? What is the so-called conscious? The so-called conscious is understanding what's going on and being aware of it. But like we said, they keep going back and forth about who's right and wrong when we just need to come to a common ground of not doing shit, right?
Yeah, well, how I'm trying to say this the right way. The idea of the whole woke thing, like you said, to be woke is aware and have knowledge. But now the second phase of that is what you do with the knowledge. So, and that's a gripe that I have with all of the brothers. I love all the brothers, man, because I came behind them. So I learned from all of them, from the Moorish Science Temple to the Nation of Islam to the 5% Nation to the Hebrew Israelites. Everybody, if I missed you, you know what I mean? The Panthers, you feel what I'm saying? All of these brothers, I studied them and I follow their footsteps, and I give a lot of where I am right now to the things that they done ahead of me. But as you said, though, that's one gripe that I might have with the articulation of what everybody got going on, is that we finding little means to debate with each other and argue. Or we got the information, we read all the books, now we know the UCC laws, now we know our identity, now we know that we ain't black, or we indigenous, or we Moors, or we this, or we that, or we monotheistic and all of that stuff. Now, how do we prosper ourselves?
Yes. What's next?
What's the, and that's what UCC, that's how UCC came about, was saying, I did years of reading thousands of books about those brothers right there in particular, and said, when I had my opportunity to step into leadership role, that's how I was going to do it differently. Well, we was going to be united under currency, because that's what we need to take us forth. We already had somebody gave us God already. Somebody told us who we was, told us how to respect ourselves and this and that. Now we got to get that currency. You know what I mean? And we got to be producers in this game of monopoly, because it's happening. If you denying it, then you delusional.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's all around you. It's happening at every second of the day, and and it's a war. I had this conversation with my family members, and that's why I say you got to be willing to go alone, because some people that I might have been close to at a time, they don't understand that we at war. It's a real war. They know from the set go, your baby's born, they hitting them with the vitamin K, they hitting them with all type of elixirs.
Yes.
Off the set go, the baby ain't been alive 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got to come back to get read up on the MMRI and all type of stuff. And then I got to pump him with formula.
Yep.
The mother done took all type of drugs during the delivery, Pitocin and epidurals and everything. Then the GMOs and the this and the that. That's a war.
Yep.
From the go. If you that's biological and chemical warfare.
Chemical warfare.
Then it's economic warfare, it's financial warfare, it's all type of things. It's
Wonder
mental
why
warfare.
people sick automatically. Wonder why the
So-
autism level is so high. Not to cut you off, my brother.
And everything else under the sun, though, whatever you saying, is cancer, is diabetes, whatever you talking about, this is war. And if you're not familiar with war tactics, because you got to be familiar with war, because we've been prisoners of war this whole time. We've been, you know what I mean, all type of stuff of war. Mm-hmm. You're familiar with it, but if you're not familiar with the tactics of war, that'll go right over your head. You know, political warfare, you know, and everything else, man.
It's race war.
Everything you can think of, and it's all just different ways. So when I can segregate those things, I can make you miss the larger picture, because you might be in a higher socioeconomic realm, so you don't see the war going on financially. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? So if I'm only talking about that, you like, oh no, that don't exist because my granddaddy pulled himself up by the bootstraps. And
We still got this in my. Yep.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
But you're not seeing the other ways. So yeah, your granddaddy got a loan, but these people got redlined. You feel what I'm saying? Or his granddaddy whole village got burned down. You know what I'm saying? And then your granddaddy built on top of that land. You know, and just things like that. You feel what I mean?
Instead of even that family trying to now help the people that was even there, we looking down upon it, and we being snobbish, and you feel me, not even understanding the hardships that they've been going through, like you saying.
Right.
That's crazy.
I mean, but you gotta think, we in 2024. If we still talking about housing problems, and we bringing entertainers and rappers and to the political things, it's like a concert.
Mm-hmm.
Look where we are as a people.
A bunch of pandering.
We still, you punch a ticket, and yo, think about this, man. I said to somebody the other day, if you was in class in 3rd grade and they say like half on this side, half on that side, and they say y'all gonna vote for something, and whoever the amount of votes wins, y'all get it. Mm-hmm. When in the 3rd grade did you let the teacher just tell you who won?
Nah,
You wanted to see those votes,
right.
dog.
Fact.
No human in America has ever counted no votes.
Fact.
You never got to really count them. You seeing shit pop up on the TV screen. 70%, 30%. This person, he won this state. You have no clue.
Fact.
You banking on something that you don't even know is a reality or not.
And the saddest part is people still don't understand the electoral college. So either way, certain states is gonna have a certain amount of votes, because these two people, especially for New York State, these two people, it depends on these two people.
Right.
It depends on 1 and 2. If I like this person, me and him like him, we picking him. Me and her like him, we picking him. That's what it boils down to. The electoral college. That's every state. That's
Man,
what it boils
even
down to.
beyond the presidential election, all of them, you know, when you really break them down, and you say a lot of times you vote in party, or you vote in jogging. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Who can talk the slickest and say a bunch of BS? We at a point, as advanced as we are as humans, you should be able to just speak speaking points. Like, tell me your 5 bullet points of change, and that's that. It could be blind voting. I don't got to know if you're a man, a woman, a giraffe, a Democrat, or anything. What's the political points this person, what their running points? Mm-hmm. What are they going to do to rise America or rise your state or your principality or your city as the mayor, the governor, or whoever? How do they make or affect change?
All right.
Who are they going to help on this campaign? And if you look at different various groups of people, there's one group of people that historically has not benefited no matter who has been in office.
And every time we say that, other people just gonna look at you or look at us and say that we're crazy. Because why? These people keep telling you that they love you, or they like you, or they gave you something. I don't understand it. The historical fact is that one thing was the other. But when people say historical fact, it don't really matter in 2024 and 2020. It didn't matter in 2015. Damn sure didn't matter in 2008. Because, like we said, this program, this mindset, it's about who you like, right? It's about what you're most comfortable with. But I'm gonna just state this one stat that I got in my phone, right? Speaking on, like we said, the vaccines and everything, what they be pumping into us. In 1983, it was only 10 vaccines for the kids, right? 2013, 32 vaccines for babies. 2022, 74 vaccines. I ain't never hit, what the fuck? I ain't even have kids yet, bro. This shit make me really nervous. Autism rates in 1983, 1 in 10,000. 2013, 1 in 88. 2022, 1 in 36. Ongoing 2025, estimated, they said 1 in every 2 kids.
They didn't say that.
It's a stat.
I gotta check the stats, bro.
It's a stat from a doctor.
That's 50%.
That's what it looked like, and I've been working with children.
That's crazy.
And I work with families. That's what it looked like every other day.
But you know another thing about that, man. I ain't gonna say I believe it or not believe it. But what I would say is, when we talk about them EDUs and this and that, they widen in the spectrum in order to put everybody under a banner.
That's also a fact.
You know what I mean? So I can group people. So I'm gonna say everybody got ADHD. I'm gonna say if you blink too fast, you got ADHD. I'm gonna say if you scratch your head, that's an autistic trait. They have all type of studies on that. I saw this one where they were saying like you could go online and get like a therapist and they ask you questions like, have you ever been upset? Are you angry if you lose? Like shit like that. If you know, would you be sad if your parents died? And you say yes to them type of questions, they say you got anxiety.
No, damn near everybody got anxiety.
You know, it's like, but that's a regular, or you got bipolar or something like that. So a lot of these, they're wide the spectrum anxiety in order to fill these certain gaps. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And like I said, things that are normal today and regular seems like just everybody may be in those things. It was not a norm when you was a child. No. It was not a norm when your mom was a child. Everybody having anxiety was probably a thing, but it was not a norm to say, bro, I'm going through it right now.
Yeah.
Like, I need it. Like, bro.
Now, you creating like a weaker class or type of people. Mm-hmm. So when you create a weaker people, it's easy to control a weak person.
Yes.
This all control tactics. Mm-hmm. And like I said, people call me all kind of things. I may be considered a conspiracy, this, that, and third. They can call me a woke or black, this and that after the interview. But the reality is, you just got to read and educate yourself. The more you educate yourself, the more you'll be aware of what's really going on. And these things are plain as day, once you become aware. You know what I mean? So kind of what we got to dance around and people got to dance around. And I'll say it, and again, like we talking about like the LGBTQ and the plus and how the name of that group and the people. And if you look at it, if it originally started about sexuality, right? I believe, like I'm not an expert in that area, but then you start adding in genders. Mm-hmm. So that's, in my opinion, that's to grab more people. Mm-hmm. And then you start adding in other things, the plus and the this and the that and the third. So now everybody says I'm a part of this community because the more anything needs fuel. Yes. So the more souls I have, the more money they could produce to pour into this, the more rallies they can do, the more they could propagate this stuff. Yes. You understand what I'm saying? And that's really what it comes down to, because we used to have like don't ask, don't tell policies. Mm-hmm. Who you sleep with or who you're attracted to or who you think you are really shouldn't be that important in life. It should be what you produce. Yes. What do you do? What value do you have? What good are you to humanity or to society? Not if you have a certain genitalia between your legs or you don't have it anymore or you added breasts or took away breasts and all of this shit about, like, even we were talking about off camera saying like a safe space. The world is a safe space because anybody should be able to say anything that they want to say. Yes, even if it's to have free speech. Even if it's offensive, even if it's hurtful, even if it's this or that. And we treading on a fine line because the same people we say we hate is who we really are in America. We say we hate Nazi Germany or we say we hate Russia or these places. There's no free speech in America. You can't, if you say anything about a certain group of people, you automatically ban, you shadow ban, you blackball, you this, that, and the third. Cancel. But this is the same thing they said in Germany, though. Yep. When they were saying that you couldn't speak out against these people, you couldn't say this and that and the third, so they got the control. And they say push the narrative through their propaganda, through everything.
Yep.
That's the same thing in America. Let's say I think a certain group of people run the radio stations or run entertainment or run social media and this and that, whoever those people are, why can't I state that? If it's not right, prove it to be wrong. That's a hypothesis. Mm-hmm. This is scientific. This is natural life. But they say, no, you can't say that because it might lead to hate. No, they say it might lead to hate or people want to kill those people. So when I make New Jack City or when I make Boys in the Hood or any of these movies that depict this as gangbangers and shooters and this and that, does that not lead to more hate?
Does that not lead to people more wanting to keep on?
People thinking that we this type of people? You cannot make a movie about a certain group of people getting killed all the time. These group of people are highly protected in America. But we can make 100 million songs saying nigga and killing blacks all day, every day.
That's a fact.
But if you say anything about these certain off groups of people, and it's not just one group, it's like 2 or 3 groups of people that you can't say anything against.